even flinch and stands his ground, while Aori starts punching him from every single angle he can find. But the bright flame burning around the spirit blocks all the attacks completely, forcing Aori to back off and rethink his strategy. The sad boy looks at Aori and sighs sadly before asking whether that's the best he can pull up with. Aori is shocked as he gave his best shot right now. But before he could say anything, his eyes burst with blood as his vision reddens and he falls to the ground. He is left dazed and wonders what the hell just happened to him. How did Sad Boy already know his name, and why the hell did he show up here for absolutely no reason? Through sheer will and tenacity, Aori continues to move. As he struggles to reach his phone and tells Sad Boy that he will avenge his little sister Akari no matter what. The Sad Boy seems to recognize that name and tells her that her death in the hospital was indeed sad, as all his efforts went to vain when he was forced to kill her off. So maybe it was Akari who died in vain, and nothing can be done about it. This hit Aori's nerve as he remembers how her sister used to laugh and play around, and he forces his own body to move. But all he could do is look up straight in the ghost's eye as he tells the Sad Boy that he will kill him no matter what. Sad Boy simply laughs, and even Aori knows that he is too weak to do anything, and all he is doing is spouting a bunch of shit which he can't follow through because of his own weakness. Sad Boy raises his hands, and immediately his entire arm gets enveloped in flames as he tells Aori to say goodbye to the world, but promises that there is a small chance that he might return back to this world in the form of a ghost if he has any unfinished business. Aori realizes that there is nothing he could do at this point and closes his eyes, apologizing to Akari and accepting his own death. But when Sad Boy uses his flames to try and finish him off, an extremely strong gust of wind blocks the flames and nullifies them. Aori is shocked as the building is closed, so where the hell did this wind come from? But he isn't left confused for long when Zaki reveals himself, dropping his blonde wig and coming face to face with Sad Boy. The spirit smiles and asks who the hell is he, and Zaki responds that he is an exorcist and Aori's teacher. Before the spirit could even react, Zaki gets all three of his students away from immediate danger, which surprises even the Sad Boy, who realizes that Zaki doesn't seem like a weakling like the other three kids. Aori starts getting worried about Cuckoo and Yuru, but Zaki tells him not to worry too much as they are not dead, and their powers protected them for now. Aori continues calling out to them, and soon Cuckoo opens his eyes, claiming that he has got a terrible headache, while even Yuru opens her eyes, trying to remember what the hell just happened. Zaki starts crying, apologizing to his students, claiming that he didn't want to leave them alone, but the women would not let him go and wanted to take him on a wild ride. He had to quickly fix them, and then he immediately ran to them. Aori tells Zaki to forget about all that as this might not be the right time. Before he could even warn the others, Sad Boy sends another volley of flames directly at them. But none of them ever reach the group, as an invisible pseudo-barrier protects them from all sides. Aori has never seen anything like that before and asks what the hell is happening. Cuckoo tries to explain that this shield is a special device created by the lab which keeps out all the electromagnetic waves for 3 minutes. But it can break if a physical entity walks inside of it. Akari's thick skull can't comprehend all of this so quickly, but Zaki explains to him in a manner even a feminist with Down syndrome would understand. He tells them that the barrier keeps out all the ghosts and their attacks for 3 minutes, after which they will be on their own. He tells them to hang tight, while he himself gets up and praises Aori for doing a good job. Aori is confused as he didn't even do anything, but Zaki claims that even surviving against the Sad Boy with sheer will was a feat in itself, and for that, he should keep his head held high. Aori struggles to keep back his tears as the positive words from the teacher touch his soul. Zaki tells them all to stay back as he takes out his fan and creates a magical carp in the air, ready to face off against one of the most dangerous ghosts in history. Without wasting a single minute, Zaki attacks him with his magical fish, and manages to land a good strike which pushes the ghost into the stands as it falls down. He continues to push his attack and hits the spirit once again. But this time Sad Boy was ready and manages to block the attack. He smiles, claiming that if he is Aori's teacher, that means that his death would end up creating a really strong connection of Aori to the world, and he would be reborn as a spirit. Immediately the ghost starts showering Zaki with his magical flame, while he dodges and sidesteps the attacks one after the other before launching a counter of his own. Aori realizes that Zaki is on a completely different level than them. He asks Cuckoo what kind of cyberkinesis is Zaki using, and Cuckoo replies that Zaki is not using any cyberkinesis as he doesn't have any. He is simply channeling his raw spiritual powers into magic with the help of a digital converter. and the fan is the main mechanism for him to be able to do that. He claims that Zaki is one of the older generation exorcists who were never taught how to deal with the digital ghosts of this era, and that's why new generations of ghost hunters are needed whose powers are native to the digital world, so that they can better handle these spirits when they inevitably attack mankind. Zaki's eyes start bleeding, which worries Aori, but Cuckoo tells him not to worry. He claims that Zaki is much stronger than this, and if Sad Boy was a real ghost and not a digital one, Zaki could have erased him from existence within minutes. But when these analog old-gen exorcists channel their spiritual powers through a digital converter, the magnitude of their power decreased by 90%, which means that Zaki is technically only fighting with 10% of his true abilities. Aori anxiously watches Zaki get cornered by Sad Boy, but just when he thought all was lost, Zaki simply smiled and created 2 more fishes from his magic and attacked Sad Boy with all 3 of them simultaneously. Aori is shocked, but Cuckoo continues his exposition dump, claiming that Zaki is a genius exorcist and he distinguished himself at the age of 18 itself, when he defeated a Calamity-class demon, which earned him the cringe title of the Living Legend. Aori is shocked that he was being schooled by an actual legend, and asks why the hell would the strongest exorcist become a teacher. Cuckoo replies that no one knows, but one day Zaki decided to take retirement from active duty and fall back into the leadership role and train the new generation of exorcists to deal with these demons of today. Aori seems impressed, but at the same time worried. But Cuckoo tells him not to fret, as he doesn't think that there is any chances of Sad Boy winning against the greatest exorcist in the world. Just then, Zaki showcased a beautiful triple attack which forced the spirit back, and when the dust was settled, the Sad Boy was nowhere to be seen. Aori asks whether he destroyed the spirit, but Zaki replies that unfortunately it escaped, which means that they will have to be extra careful from now on. They all sit down with relief that this nightmare was over, while Zaki tells them that the Sad Boy was not fighting with all his strength as his charge was getting over. So basically he was fighting in power saver mode. Cuckoo gets irritated as he realizes that they basically lost an incredible opportunity to exorcise the ghost. But Zaki tells them not to think too much about that, as the most important thing was that all of them came out of it safe. He hugs them all, which gives Aori a new perspective of his own weakness, and he turns towards Zaki, claiming that he has a new goal in life now, and he wants to become exactly like Zaki. Zaki laughs at that, and tells them that they should all return to the school and get some rest as well to recover so that they can train even harder. They all soon return back to the academy, and while Zaki was called into a meeting, Aori and Cuckoo get a change of clothes and head into the nurse's office, where they find Yuru completely patched up and brand new. Aori doesn't understand how all her injuries could disappear so quickly, when the nurse named Mina emerges from behind a door and tells him not to worry about his injuries. She clicks a picture of him in her phone and uses her ability to literally Photoshop him back to health. Soon the rest of their classmates also enter the office, but Aori, Cuckoo, and Yuru are not really in the mood to have any fun. They have a determined look on their faces as they tell their classmates that they are heading off to train as they don't want to get humiliated so badly again. Before they could leave though, Mina tells them to have a look at their batteries, and they soon realize that they are basically out of spiritual energy. It doesn't really matter to them though, as if they can't train their spiritual powers, then they will train their muscles and gain efficiency in any way possible, so one day they can take revenge and kill the Sad Boy once and for all. A couple days pass by since that incident, and after recovering back to full strength, Aori realizes that he is not able to use his cyberkinesis to its fullest potential and goes to meet with Cuckoo and Ren. He finds them sitting on a table having some tea, but Cuckoo seems to be busy with something. Ren greets Aori warmly and asks what he is doing so early in the morning. Aori replies that he hasn't been able to sleep very well, since he realized how unfit his body actually is. Ren is a little confused, but Aori claims that during the last fight against Sad Boy and that other ghost account, he realized that his cyberkinesis was working amazingly, and he was able to think and react to things faster than he normally would. But his body was constantly holding back. There was always a disconnect between his brain and his body, where his body would react late and it would get him caught out in the open. He thinks that if he trains his hand-to-hand combat skills even more and work on conditioning his body, he can wield his abilities much better and will be able to deal with the ghost accounts much more easily. With that, he turns towards Cuckoo and bows down, requesting him to train him so he can learn how to use his skills better. But Cuckoo doesn't even acknowledge his presence and is busy furiously typing on his phone. Aori is a little confused, but Ren laughs and tells him to take a seat as this is Cuckoo's daily routine, where he goes through Twitter and Reddit and then fights with random people online about how Epstein didn't kill himself. Aori realizes that it's not a joke and Cuckoo is genuinely just a cringy keyboard warrior as he continues typing on his phone, before finally putting it down to have some tea. He tells Aori to sit down and have his tea, claiming that it calms down the nerves. Aori can't understand this man at all, and asks whether he was in a gang or something before since he also has a tattoo on his shoulder. Cuckoo chokes on his tea and tells him to shut up, as that is a very prejudiced and discriminatory way to think, and that he is profiling people if he does that. Ren, however, calls out his bullshit, telling Aori that he is correct in his assumption, and Cuckoo was in fact in a gang during the high school. He pulls out his phone and shows him a picture of the delinquent version of Cuckoo, which no doubt would have generated a lot of female fan following from the K-pop girls. Cuckoo tells him that it was just a phase and even Ren was in the same gang. Ren claims that he was just following him around, and tells Aori that he knows Cuckoo since childhood and they have kind of a bromance between them. Cuckoo claims that he doesn't swing that way, while Aori realizes that he basically doesn't know about any of his peers and tells Ren that he would like to know as much as possible about them. This surprises Ren as usually the rage baiters are very self-centered and assholes, but Aori doesn't seem to fall in the same category. Cuckoo asks him to tell him what he wanted from him, which Aori totally forgot about that, but instead of training him, Cuckoo sends him to look for Hage as she is the hand-to-hand combat specialist who can teach him the most. While looking for Hage, he comes across the creepy-looking doll sitting on the desk and starts talking to it, asking whether it can train him in combat, but Chucky here